Hi, today we're going to talk about a topic that's been very controversial and has been very devastating to a lot of families and even societies. And it's even a situation that I have experienced that I'm really passionate about, that I want to just educate people and bring awareness to people about domestic violence. Years ago, I was in a domestic violence situation with my son's father, and I just, felt like, can't stand a situation where you feel like you're being verbally and physically abused. So I finally did get out of it, and I thank God that I did. Also, I was sexually assaulted, and that's been traumatizing as well. So I have a passion for people and empathy for people, men and women, that has been abused, and I just wanted to give back and help people through that crisis of their life. But first, let's talk about domestic violence. What is it? Domestic violence is physical or verbal abuse, and it can be both against the intimate partner or by one person against another in a familiar, intimate relationship. Domestic violence is most common in intimate relationships, but it also can be a violence between family members as well. Let's break down the description of an intimate partner violence. Is caused by a current or a former partner. Acts or threats of physical violence. Actual threats of sexual violence. Emotional and physical abuse, which could be name calling, put down, threats, even sexual orientation of the person, even stalking, showing up unannounced, texting, calling, emails. Verbal abuse, withholding money, and ruining credit, and also stopping a person from even working or being around family members. Let's debunk the myths of domestic violence. 1 out of 3 women and 1 out of 4 men are victims of domestic violence. Who are the victims? It can be anyone. It can be any age, any race, any color, any religion, any education, employment, marital status, it doesn't matter. Both men and women can be abused. Most victims are women and children in the homes. Where there's domestic violence, most likely there's abuse and neglect of the children. If you're a person of color, you may be afraid of prejudice, and you might not be able to report it because you're afraid of not being believed or ostracized. If you're lesbian or gay or transgender, you may be afraid of the same situation. If you're physically or mentally challenged, this could be hurtful for them because most people doesn't have an outlet or even have a way to let anybody know that they're being abused, because most of the time it's by the person that's taking care of them. If a person is from another country or a different religion, it can make it hard because they might be afraid they might be deported. And if it's a teen, you could be a victim of abuse. Could be from a dating someone or somebody you even know. It could be a jealous ex or jealous person you're dating. It could be a person that you broke up with. But if you're a child in a home, children are abused as well. 2 out of 3 children are exposed to traumatic violence and verbal abuse. Most children in these homes know about the violence. Parents may think children do not know about violence, but most of the time they do. They can feel helpless and scared and upset. Violence in the home is dangerous for children. Children live in this environment with yelling, screaming, and fighting can cause a traumatic mental state in the child and cause them to be unstable. And children in violent homes may not get the care from the parent because the parent is most of the time being abused or the abuser. Children who live in a violent home can have many problems. They can have trouble sleeping. They can have trouble in school or getting along with others. These problems do not go away on their own, and they can even happen to the child and affect them as they get older. A child hears and sees everything. Don't think that they don't. Men can be victims of domestic violence as well. Men also suffer domestic violence and abuse and emotional abuse, and even sometimes ashamed to get help. Let's look at some statistics here. Statistics have indicated that underreporting is a big problem in intimate partner violence relationships. National Domestic Violence Statistic and Domestic Shelters stated that, again, 1 out of 4 women and 1 out of 7 men will experience violence by an intimate partner in their lifetime. 1 out of 4 gay men and 1 out of 3 bisexual men and 3 in 10 heterosexual will experience rape, violence, or stalking from an intimate partner. Rapes of men is about 29% committed by an intimate partner, but most of the time they're not, again, reported. Domestic violence is not talked about and underreported. Men in particular may decide not to report violence to law enforcement for fear of being labeled or the perpetrator, or simply not being believed. In no instances is domestic violence justified, whether it's a male or a female. No one deserves to be abused. And I believe in this society, this is an epidemic that's been going on for a while. And I'm just passionate that I just want to help others and bring awareness that we need to stop the violence. We need to break the chain of domestic violence so we can all live a successful, violence-free life. If you know someone is being abused, or if you're in an abusive relationship, turn to a friend, turn to a neighbor, go to a coworker, a religious person, maybe seek help, but do not stay in this violent situation. Love should not hurt. It's crazy, right? To love someone who hurts you. You know what's crazier? Thinking that someone hurts you, loves you. No. So join with me. Let's break the chain of domestic violence. We can do it if we work together. God bless.